Alright, so starting with the green juice, I'm going to use coconut water, an orange, an apple, half a lemon, half a lime, a thumb of ginger, a handful of spinach, 2 cucumbers that I'm going to peel. Can probably leave the skins on, but I like really thin juices. Not going to throw the skins away though, someone else is going to eat them. Cucumbers have a ton of benefits. They keep you hydrated, flush out toxins, and can help lower your blood pressure. So fresh coconut water is always better than the store-bought. Those are usually warmed up, which causes the water to lose some of its nutrients. There's a couple different ways you can break open a coconut. You can break open the 3 little holes with a screwdriver and a hammer, or you can take a hammer and hit around the perimeter of the coconut to make a little fracture, and then crack it open and pour out the water. Ginger is a great ingredient to add to a ton of different juice combinations. It's anti-inflammatory, improves brain function, and helps to relieve digestion problems. It can be a little strong, but if you balance it out with more neutral flavors, then it'll be fine. Apples are one of the fruits that you should always buy organic. One way to tell if it's organic is the PLU number. So a 5-digit code starting with 9 is organic, 4-digit starting with 4 is conventional, and stay away from 5-digit codes starting with 8, those are GMO. So in addition to the coconut water, I like to add a little bit of filtered water. I fill it up to about the 100, milliliter mark on the Vitamix, and that just helps it to strain better. I like to strain it a few times, going back and forth between the pitcher and a bowl. And I do this because I want it to be as liquidy as possible. I don't really like to feel lots of pulp when I'm drinking a juice. And yeah, that's about it. So I take these to work a lot, and I'll put them in a glass Tupperware, and they're pretty easy to travel with. You just take the coconut and the granola and put it in a Ziploc instead of putting it inside the bowl with the acai, because then it'll get soggy. And also make sure that you put less liquid than you think you need so that it's thicker, because if you are taking it to work or traveling with it, it will liquefy even more. So these little guys, you just run them under water for a little bit, break them up, and then pour them in. I like to rinse them out and recycle the package, put it on the frozen desserts setting on your Vitamix, and then scoop it out with a little plastic spatula. I'm eating this at home, so I'm not putting it in a glass Tupperware, and yeah, that's about it. Having sweet potato fries for lunch. I'm not sure why they're this color. I guess there's just different types. But I try to get them crispy as I can, and I read that soaking them in water for an hour helps. I also read that using arrowroot powder can help them to become more crispy. So after I let them soak, I will dry them off and then put them in a bag with, I think it's 2 teaspoons of arrowroot powder, and shake it up. And then I put a little bit of olive oil and a tiny bit of salt, and then I use a silicone pad so that I don't have to use nonstick cooking spray, and then just make sure that the fries aren't touching, because they collect moisture when they're touching, which will make them soggy. Cook them at 425, about 15 minutes on each side. For a dip, you can use Vegenaise, Sriracha, and lemon juice. Just mix them together and you're done. For dinner, I'm just having a stir fry that's actually a couple days old rice that I had in the fridge. I'm just gonna reheat that. And I actually didn't end up using the broccoli, but I cooked the vegetables and the tofu in a cast iron skillet, which is a really good type of cookware to have. They are non-toxic, and it's a good way to get iron into your system. And they're also naturally non-stick. This brand came pre-seasoned, meaning that you don't have to rub the skillet down with vegetable oil and then bake it in the oven for an hour to activate the non-stick power. So that's a plus. And just make sure if you're using these that after you wash them, that you dry them immediately so that they don't rust. But if you do get rust on it, rinse it off, put some coconut oil on it, throw it in the oven for a little bit, and then once it cools, it's ready to use again and the rust will be gone. If you are going to use broccoli, you can steam them for a little bit first and then add them into the stir fry, or you can just cut them up, wash them, and then toss them into the pan with the other vegetables. I like to have my tofu pretty well cooked, and I just use seasoned salt and a little bit of pepper, and then toss in coconut oil as needed to make sure it's not sticking to the pan, and then let that cover for a little bit, but not too long because you don't want it to be really watery and moist. Then reheat the rice in the wok. I add Bragg's and liquid aminos instead of soy sauce. Mix in the vegetables with the rice once you're done, and add Bragg's as needed, and you're all set. For a snack, I'm just gonna have dried mangoes. It's the unsweetened kind from Trader Joe's. I think they're like $3. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoy, and there'll be more of these as well as some other exciting things I have planned for this channel. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, and I also have an Instagram. You can follow me there as well, and have a great day. Thanks.